From an insanely detailed Minecraft Easter egg to a cruel message hidden by the devs, these are 21 secrets in video games. If you thought Chris Pratt was an interesting choice for Mario, there's this secret voice actor who made it 10 times worse. The placeholder lines for Super Mario 64 were accidentally left in, and anyone who dug them up found a hilarious surprise. Still not as shocking as this secret item in Cyberpunk that has an insane twist. As you rob Yorinobu's pet house, a tiny egg can be found underneath this log. Now the game just calls this junk, and it's clearly not that important, but that's exactly what the devs want you to think. If you take this back to your apartment, it can be placed down as a decoration where you'd never really think about it again. But check back here a few months later, and a fully grown iguana will now be living in your apartment.
Who would have thought?
While Call of Duty usually keeps its best secrets inside of zombies, multiplayer has this one Easter egg that's pretty mind-blowing. Now, MW 2019 has this innocent-looking train station map, but for some reason, players started shooting these random rocks which showed some numbers. After destroying all 6 of these, a keypad is then revealed, and I don't think anyone was expecting to summon this. And if there's one game out there that lets you do anything, it's Just Cause 4. But even this sandbox has its limits. Now, you're not supposed to breathe underwater for long, but a YouTuber named Rico Star found a way to do it with some impressive movement techniques. After swimming until there was just a few seconds of air left, he found a secret message at the bottom of the sea saying, "You don't belong here." And then a second later, he drowned. And I can't tell you how fun it is when a game actually lets us play instruments like the realistic guitar in The Last of Us or even the ocarina in Zelda. But this guitar in Serious Sam lets you do a whole lot more than just play. If you keep strumming it over and over, eventually it'll come to life. And while we're on the topic of iconic missions, you probably remember CJ and Big Smoke chasing the train in San Andreas. Now, it was a pretty hard mission, but each time you failed, it gave you this reminder.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
This was engraved in our minds for so long that Cyberpunk just had to reference it. Over on the train tracks, you'll find 2 dead guys called JC and Little Smoke, and their convo of course ends with, "All you had to do was follow the damn train, JC." And that's not even the only time someone paid homage to San Andreas. Now, everyone knows about the bridge that says, "There's no Easter eggs up here, go away," which is already pretty unsatisfying. And Destroy All Humans must have also not been a fan because they decided to get a little justice on Rockstar. They built an exact recreation of the scene and added a basket of Easter eggs as revenge. And there's some unexpected secrets that can totally catch you off guard, like in Viscera Cleanup where your only job is to clean. One day a player randomly hit this rock, which got smaller, so they kept hitting it until a hidden cave was revealed. Inside of it, you'll find the world of Minecraft with the iconic pickaxe on display. Now, Dying Light has a secret that's a little more interactive, but it also confused thousands of its players. At one point in the game, you can find this crater, which spawns hundreds of DVDs. But this isn't even the weirdest part, because a mysterious blueprint has a chance of appearing with it. Once built, you'll see that it's literally just a chicken on a stick, and you might be thinking this is a troll from the devs, but the weapon's actually insane.
Hit this man in his face.
What the hell?
Moving on over from chicken to pizza, Strafe unlocked a hidden room after people blew up these servers in a specific order. At first glance, it's pretty underwhelming, like it's basically just a kitchen with some ammo and a microwave. But that's until you open the cupboard, revealing pizza rolls. Now, trying to eat these will cause your player to shake them up before cutting the bag open and pouring them into a bowl. This is already so weird, but now all you gotta do is heat them up in the microwave, except this turns it into a portal, transporting you to a pizza world. But even that isn't as memorable as this secret from Crash Bandicoot. Now, you've probably seen the real-life mascot invading some of your favorite events, but did you know he could also break into your game as well? In the Japanese version of Crash 2, anyone who pressed these buttons would activate a secret video. It showed Crash going on dates, flying around with a jetpack, and doing some really inappropriate dance moves. But if there's one game that has the best Easter eggs, it's Battlefield, and 7 years ago, one had the entire community trying to help solve it. It all started with these red valves, and turning them on would cause water to rush out of the pipes and create this giant puddle. Players then realized they could throw grenades into this tiny hole, which would cause a creature to start growing, but the final step took a super long time to solve. It wasn't until someone tried stabbing 3 enemies in the puddle that they would meet the Megalodon. And if there's anything we can relate to, it's being kept waiting. And for someone as fast as Sonic, my man's gotta be super impatient. That's why leaving him alone in Sonic CD isn't the best idea, because after 3 minutes, he just gets bored. And if you only have a small amount of time, then Far Cry 5 might be for you, because you can beat the entire game in just minutes. In the opening cutscene, you arrest the main villain and take him back to your helicopter, but this is where things go terribly wrong. The cultists then leap onto your heli, saving their leader, and this unfortunately ends with you being burned alive. But this had players thinking, what if there was another way? If you restart the game and just stand in the church refusing to arrest the leader, after a few minutes, a secret ending will unlock.
You put those cuffs on him. None of us get out of here alive.
Now, Resident Evil 4 just got remade, and I'm praying that it includes one of my favorite secrets from the original. Inside of the forest, you can find this dog whimpering after it gets caught in a bear trap. This is so heartbreaking, and you can either leave him be like a monster, put him out of his misery, or rescue him from the trap. Now, of course, we all saved him and never really thought about it again, but I don't think anyone was expecting to see him reappear a few hours later to help with one of the hardest bosses in the game.
Yeah, boy.
Now, I'm praying he makes a comeback, but there's a secret you can do right now in the chainsaw demo that doesn't even appear in the full game. There's a small chance when you load it up that you'll get offered a mad chainsaw mode, but there's actually a way to activate this every single time. If you enter this code, it gives Dr. Salvador a flaming chainsaw, but less health and way more aggressive enemies. And I gotta say, this is the best Resident Evil mode. Still not as shocking as Modern Warfare 2's plot twist that hit us all right in the feels. In the original game, Shepard famously betrays you, leaving Ghost and Roach to die. So when the remastered version released a decade later, you know we were all still holding a grudge. While assassinating Shepard gives you a game over, an achievement now pops up to let you know, hey, we totally get it. But things get extremely weird in Hitman while playing the Last Resort mission. You're busy running around and eliminating targets, but you might also come across these pamphlets. They promote the island's activities, and just like the people handing out flyers, one wrong move and you'll end up with a dozen of these things. If your abundance of pamphlets is driving you insane, you might want to go on a violent rampage, but whatever you do, don't shoot this woman in the pool. If you do, a nearby swimmer will dive into the ocean out of fear, which unlocks the ultimate secret, Moose NATO. Another game that has an insane hidden secret is Wii Sports Resort. The bowling minigame is iconic, and I bet you guys remember the option to play with 100 pins. Not only do they take up a ton of space, but the barriers are on, so it's literally impossible to miss. But if you lined up your shot directly with the bumpers, you'd unlock an amazing Easter egg. Nintendo also paid homage to one of their most famous employees, Satoru Iwata, who passed away in 2015. At the time, they were working on Breath of the Wild, and the director once said, "There were moments we'd come up with an idea which we'd be excited to talk to Iwata about, but then we'd remember he's no longer here." So when the game finally released 2 years later, it was only right to include a tribute to Iwata in the form of an NPC. He has the exact same haircut and glasses, and his quest description says, "This holy creature is a reincarnation of a sage that died on the lands it now protects. It's sometimes known by its other name, Satori." And if you guys didn't know, Satori is derived from the name Satoru, so yeah, this is a pretty amazing tribute. But I don't think you'll struggle with identifying this prop in Internet Cafe Simulator. Over by the dumpsters, people found the corpse of a small astronaut with a huge bone sticking out. By now, you've probably figured out that this is a crewmate from Among Us, but if you still needed a hint, just report the body.
Amogus.
And those were 21 secrets in video games. This has been Sammy.